Don't step that way. They're looking it up. Right hand. Takayama. Punching this guy, wailing away with right hand. Takayama looking, whoa, he's out of here. Frye blasting his right left now. Wow. To their ankle. Takayama with a lead by Takayama.
Unfortunately, these days, medical school is just a glorified trade school for people trained to obey the pharmaceutical industry. Now, trade schools can be great, but Western allopathic medicine has completely lost its way. I believe that we are in the midst of one of the greatest crimes in human history. Chronic illness in this country has gone from 10% of children having one or more chronic conditions to now more than 50% of children having one or more chronic conditions. The latest data from the CDC says that 76% of Americans now have one or more chronic conditions. And I believe that lots of these chronic conditions stem from iatrogenic injury. I think the people who have covered up the autism epidemic and the epidemics of iatrogenic injury should be held to account for their actions. Let's talk about COVID. The state, however you define that, the military, CDC, Tony Fauci, Ralph Barrick at the University of North Carolina, created a weaponized virus, correct? Gain-of-function research. They contracted it out to China, and it caused a pandemic around the world once it was released. The government created a weaponized virus that then got out and caused a global pandemic. I would like to have accountability for the COVID era, and I'd like to have accountability for the fact that the CDC has known since 1999 that vaccines cause autism, and they've covered it up for 26 years. How do we begin to have
Is this okay? Don't touch it. Don't touch. No, don't touch it. They don't seem that concerned at all, which is concerning me.
I know, it's unbelievable to see, isn't it?
Our infants aren't fussed about the snakes at all. They're far more interested in their toys. In fact, psychologists believe that along with heights, there's only one other fear that appears this early in our development. The fear of loud noises. All of the others, including the fear of snakes, are learned later. I wonder how the parents feel watching this.
This is set up to be very safe.
Okay.
These are trained snakes that are used to being with humans.
They're non-venomous?
They're non-venomous.
I'm sorry, I can't.
So once you've learned to fear them, it's an awful feeling.
But we start out like this.
But we start out like
not fearing
this.
at all, touching it on the face.
Yeah, just no fear at all. She hasn't learned there's anything to worry about with snakes.
Now, being taught to be wary of animals.
I warned you guys in 1984. You didn't listen. Sure, look, I mean, you've got to follow the money. Who's building these things, right? They're either building it to dominate market share, so what are you teaching it? Greed. Or you're building it for defensive purposes, so you're teaching it paranoia. I think the weaponization of AI is the biggest danger. I think that we will get into the equivalent of a nuclear arms race with AI. And if we don't build it, the other guys are for sure going to build it. And so then it'll escalate. And you know, you could imagine an AI in a combat theater, the whole thing just being fought by the computers at a speed that humans can no longer intercede. You have no ability to de-escalate. And when you're dealing with the potential of it escalating to nuclear warfare, de-escalation is the name of the game. And having that pause, that timeout, but will they do that? The AIs will not.
You be the judge. If you're awake, you already feel what's right. Support the movement. Show where you stand. Your presence matters. Your choice carries meaning.